On this episode of the Comic Blast podcast, we discuss the brand new Avengers Endgame TV spot, our growing concerns for Captain Marvel, and other MCU related news. Coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Blast podcast. This is episode number 2 between Grayson and I. I'm Keenan, and Grayson's right across from me. What's up?
I'm here. What's going on, man? Kind of a big news week, I'd say, at least earlier in the week.
Sure, yeah.
So we got a lot to cover today.
Big news week for Marvel. Before we hop into that, I actually had something I wanted to talk about really quickly. I saw Spider-Verse again last night. I saw it, yeah, because I figured it's going to go out pretty soon.
Yeah, it's about to leave theaters for sure.
Best Spider-Man movie. I just had to say that real quick. It's so easy for me to say that now because I watched Spider-Man 2 and I watched Homecoming pretty recently.
Okay.
And Spider-Verse is number 1 for me.
They're
all number 1 in your heart.
I totally agree and I totally disagree.
Really?
Because you know me, I adore every single Spider-Man film for each in their own reasons. I can definitively say that there are a few films that are definitely not my favorite, but it always teeters on Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, and Homecoming for me. It's like and even The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It's like each of those films mean so much to me in like different ways, and it's just like it really depends on my mood. So anyone who says like that Spider-Verse is their favorite, I'm like, yes, I agree.
Fine.
Anyone says Spider-Man 2 is their favorite, I agree. Same thing with Homecoming, and so that's because I'm just a biased Spider-Man fanboy.
Yeah.
So
but see,
yeah,
I love Spider-Man. Here's the thing. Here's the problem for me that I'm having is that like I think that Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. I'm pretty set on that. But before, Spider-Man 2 was my favorite comic book movie of all time.
Yeah.
So then when I try to like compare it that way, I'm like, then that would make Spider-Verse my favorite comic book movie of all time. And it's just such a weird thing to wrap my head around. But I think time is really gonna, tell where it's gonna rank within my list or whatever. But I don't know. It's just my initial reaction after rewatching it. Again, and I just love that movie.
I've seen it 3 times, and like the animation still just blows me away.
It's so unique.
I think exactly, like it's so different than anything else that I've ever seen. I think in the grand scheme of things, Spider-Verse will ultimately last a longer. At least it's a more timeless film because I think animation is something, at least to the caliber of Spider-Verse, is something that can last a lot longer than live action films can. Like you look at the difference of like animation from 50 years ago versus live action 50 years ago, and it's like the margin of difference is a lot smaller for animation.
Yeah.
So I think Spider-Verse will definitely end up standing the test of time. We'll see how Spider-Man 2. I still love Spider-Man 2. So
I think that one holds up really well for me too.
Definitely.
But anyways, I just wanted to get that out there. That was just
for sure.
because I have that still in my head.
No, let it out, man.
So maybe with the soundtrack and everything. Anyways, like you said, we have a ton of MCU related news that came out this week because as we discussed on the last episode, the Super Bowl was coming, which came after we recorded that episode.
And boy, did it deliver.
Yeah, it did. For me, I'm a sports fan. I know you're not really into football or anything like that, so I got to enjoy the trailers and I got to enjoy the game. But the thing that kind of like surprised me was that the Endgame trailer actually came up.
It was like before the game started, right?
Yeah, exactly. Before it even started, it's more of a TV spot than it is a trailer. Yeah. But I saw the logo pop up and I'm like, holy crap, they're doing this already, But what are your initial thoughts on that clip that we got? It's probably, close to a minute long?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's 20 seconds.
Oh, is it?
It's for Endgame, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, it is quite short. It's perfect. The marketing for this film, so far, they are doing everything right. They're hitting all the boxes for me. It was impactful. Like, it was emotional because it starts with all of the scenes from different MCU movies of all of the people who got dusted or killed. Oh,
I like that. Yeah, that was cool.
I love how they all keep that same color palette. They're all red.
Yeah.
Like the Spider-Man, the red was, everything else was black and white except his red. Vision, his face was red.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, the shield was red. It was so beautiful. And then we get to see the desolation of the world, especially New York.
The universe.
Yeah, it's It's bleak. It's like an apocalypse, like just like a plague hit the planet, and you can tell the Avengers are broken.
It's so weird though. Based on the tone of the trailer and just what I saw from it, it seems as if the world is just trying to kind of keep things going. It's not like it's so apocalyptic that like the world just shut down. It seems like people are still trying to, I mean, obviously they're dealing with the effects of it, but it's not like everything just shut down. Like people are still kind of going on about their lives, because you see at the Captain America, or Steve is talking, and it's almost like he's in like a group therapy.
It's like like an AA meeting.
Exactly.
It's like I think everyone's trying to cope with what happened. Like it was so sudden.
Very similar to the Winter Soldier thing going on, where Anthony Mackie's character was talking.
I almost wonder if like
veterans.
It'd be kind of cool. I doubt this would happen, but if it was actually like he did that because of Falcon.
Sure, because, he was that would be cool too.
But I doubt it. That's a small thing.
It seems like I'm wondering if the rest, like, it's pretty much what they're hinting is that the rest of the world is just trying to be like, it happened, this is what it is, and we have to just keep moving on.
But the Avengers are not moving on.
They're not moving on at all. That's what I love about it.
They are broken, but they are angry. And you can see it on Captain America's face when he's like he's like a time bomb about to explode. Like he's ready, and then you see him strap on that shield, and you're like, let's go. One of the coolest things.
I think that based on just the clips that we saw from the trailer, this is probably, I don't want to speak too soon, and us fans of comic book movies have a tendency of overhyping things when we based on trailers
the gun and things like that, right?
But from what I've seen so far, this film right here probably has some of the best looking cinematography in the MCU to me. Some of the shots are just so beautiful. The use of colors or lack of colors in certain scenes are really cool, which is rare for a Joe and Anthony Russo movie, because they're usually kind of washed out colors other than Infinity War.
It seems to be the thing. I think the Russo bros have really, I think after they are finished with this film, they will go down as some of the greatest directors in history, because I believe each and every one of their films is, while they are, like at least with the MCU films, they're all in the MCU, but they're drastically different. You compare Winter Soldier to Civil War, and Civil War to Infinity War, and I'm sure Endgame is going to be like the polar opposite of Infinity War. Sure. Infinity War was like the Return of the King for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, whereas this I feel like is going to be more like Fellowship or Two Towers.
Okay.
Where it's going to be slower paced, which especially because they said that
3 hours.
3 hour cut. Yeah.
That's weird.
I think it's going to be a whole lot about the characters, and which is what I like, which I'm fine with that, because we spent so much time with these characters. We are emotionally invested in them.
It's going to be I don't see these characters, whether like these characters end up coming back. I don't know how they're going to come back, but it's obvious that they are going to come back. I don't think that we're going to spend a lot of time jumping between a lot of characters like there was in Infinity War. I think the remaining ones are pretty much who we're going to be spending our time with throughout the movie.
We only have half of them left.
Exactly.
So.
But I don't see them like somehow bringing back all the old characters in the middle of the movie.
Oh, definitely not.
It's going to be something at the end of the movie, I think.
Most of the characters I think are alive. It'll be end of their run in terms of screen time. Even if they don't die, like, I think we won't be seeing a whole lot of these characters for the future. I'm sure they'll make cameos and things like that, but they're really going to be putting emphasis on Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Spider-Man, and so on.
Right.
So that's why it's like this is kind of the almost the final send-off of like these core team of Avengers and what it's all about for them.
So sad.
So yeah, it'll be after this April. It will be the end of an era.
That's
for
weird.
Sure.
That's so weird. Speaking of the runtime or whatever, I'm having an issue with all of these people being excited about there being an intermission. I'm not for an intermission.
I haven't heard about an intermission.
Oh, okay. So apparently there was a report out that Disney is thinking about doing like a break at some point during the film because it's going to be 3 hours long. They're considering doing some sort of intermission. It's like you're going to a play.
Right.
And they have like an intermission. And there will be a break where everybody can go do whatever they need to do.
And so you said you're upset with the
I don't like. I hate that. Like I hate that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the motive is behind it, other than it just maybe people can't sit for 3 hours. But
yeah, there's a lot of people who they complain about the length of movies and things like that. Yet they'll go and they'll binge an entire 11 episode TV show nonstop. So I don't really see their logic. But I do see the reasoning behind if they end up doing an intermission. I doubt that's going to happen.
I hate the idea, and I feel like
that'd be such a hard thing to organize.
I'm afraid that what's going on is there may be some sort of blowback from the theater chains. Maybe this is all just my own conspiracy, but you're getting less showings out of a 3-hour movie. You're gonna, there's gonna be less showings. So if you split it, that would give time for people to walk out of the theater and maybe go get some more concessions or anything like that.
Yeah,
where the theater chains can profit off of that. I just hate the idea of them splitting up the movie. I hate taking a break in between something that I'm already like invested in. Yeah. And then having to kind of be sucked out of it and then come back and then, whether it be 10 minutes or whatever, and try to get back into it. Yeah. That's just me though. Like I just hate taking breaks.
I'm kind of indifferent. We'll see what happens. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, okay.
So weird.
But we'll see.
Well, anyway, so you liked the spot. I really liked this spot as well.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Honestly, I wouldn't need to see any more from this movie.
Trailer-wise, I completely agree. Like the first trailer and then this, I'm like, all right.
More than enough.
Let's go.
And it does seem like they're keeping up, or Kevin Feige's keeping his word about only using clips from the movie that are within the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, we still don't know what's going on at all.
Exactly.
All we know is the Avengers, they have a plan of some sort. They're mad.
Maybe.
Tony's in space. That's it.
Yeah. That's fine with me. Yeah. I'm excited. It's so hard to believe we're only about 2 months away from this movie.
Oh my god, yeah, we are. It's
about closer to 3, maybe.
It's
end of April,
2.5, roughly, yeah.
Man.
It's going to come by quick.
Yeah, it is.
I'm hyped.
Other than that, we got a new image of the Avengers in their new costumes that they're going to be sporting throughout the film. And I actually am pulling that up right now.
Have you not seen them yet?
Yeah, I have seen them. The new suits look cool. There's also those ones floating around, the red and black and white ones.
Those came off some toys and stuff. I imagine that'll be a brief segment. I'm not sure if that'll be something to do with them going to space or time travel. But this Avengers, the 6 original Avengers and their outfits. Thor is the same as he was in Infinity War, it seems like. But
the exact same, yeah.
But man, Captain America and Iron Man, Captain America's got the scales, and as a comic book fan, that makes me so freaking happy.
I see the scales. I also saw, I don't know if you saw this floating around on Twitter, but there was a shot in the spot where he has the Winter Soldier suit on.
Yeah, that was even in the original trailer.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I never caught that.
I'll say this.
That's cool.
Captain America, I think, has some of the coolest costume designs within the MCU. It's very practical, and I'm someone who, like I mentioned, I believe in the last episode, I love practically designed costumes. But seeing this Captain America outfit with the scales, it makes me so happy because that is a very iconic look for comic books, and it looks beautiful. And then Iron Man, they went, I don't know if you've noticed this, but they went all the way back to the original Iron Man costume design where he's got the full golden arms. I
see it,
and the red forearms and stuff. And I'm like, dope. It looks like you never thought they would be able to pull it off. And I mean, it doesn't look nearly as tacky as the original Iron Man costume from the comics, but it looks fantastic. And then I even like Hulk with the full body suit. I think that's
the Hulk suit a lot. I think it's something very unique and something we haven't seen.
I think it's gonna show that it's like Banner has control of the Hulk now. Like he's gonna be able.
That'd be cool.
Like he's gonna be able, almost like he's gonna have sentience over him. Because we've seen within the past few films that they're kind of separate people. Yeah. But I feel like it's gonna be like Hulk is going to be like, all right, you take the pilot seat. The last time I fought Thanos, I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you're smarter than I am. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to just chill here and watch the ride, or just go for the ride.
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really happy with these costumes.
In terms of I have no like emotional attachment to the Captain America suit, the scales or anything. Isn't something that like. I get why people would like it because it is something ripped pretty much from the comic books, but it's something that like I have no excitement about per se. It's cool.
I like it just because they're not reusing. They're not just making another variation on the Age of Ultron or Civil War suit.
Yeah,
like they're like it's essentially the Civil War suit, but they've got that scales. It's a little nuanced difference, but. It's for the fans. They were like, the comic book hardcore fans are gonna love that suit, and
because this is his last. I think this is his last movie, so
probably.
I feel like they probably did that. My favorite suit's always going to be the Winter Soldier suit.
Oh, we'll see. I was thinking about this earlier. We'll see. Like the Winter Soldier suit is my favorite suit because I think it is the sleekest and the most like tactical. an actual military person would wear.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
But. We'll see. This one may replace it. It may be.
You think so?
It may be a close tie.
I don't know if it can do that for me.
I love those scales, man.
Yeah. They look cool. I just the Winter Soldier is always going to be my favorite. I can't see anything really replacing that for me.
That's understandable. I get it.
It's so cool. Yeah. Other than that, so we got some other MCU news that we're going to get to. Mm-hmm. Chris Pratt pretty much confirmed that they will be using James Gunn's script for Volume 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
That's been floated out for a while now. There's been a lot of rumors that they're still going to use the script, which I find pretty exciting. It is a little bit weird, though, that he's not getting to direct his vision or his script.
Yeah, I think... I wish he was able to, we were talking about it last week. I wish he was able to direct the film. Disney was stupid and they decided not to do that apparently, but I think that it's the right call to let them use his script. Yeah. He was the one who envisioned this entire process for the most part, him and the other producers. So it's his baby. Guardians is his family, his characters that he really cares about. So at least that they're using his script makes me very happy. And Chris Pratt's word saying that he says it's amazing.
Would you be surprised at all? I was just thinking about this. Would you be surprised at all? Because it's rumored that this film isn't going to come for a couple years now. Mm-hmm. Would you be surprised at all if James Gunn came back to direct the movie? I mean, it's going to be a few years. The whole thing's going to kind of die down.
What would surprise me the most if he did come back is that Disney would let him.
Yeah.
It's not that he would do it out of his I think if they asked him to come back and be like, hey, listen, we screwed up. Yeah. We know you're doing Suicide Squad 2. After you're done with that, can you please come back to do Guardians? I think he would say yes. I think there's still going to be some bad blood between him and Disney, but I think he would definitely come back. But the thing is, I don't know if Disney's going to do that. I think if they backpedal off of that decision, it's going to look bad for their company, and so it's really...
You don't think people will just be over it by then? Probably not, because I feel like
I think people are over it now.
Yeah, I
was over it within the first week. I was as soon as I realized that it was just some person trying to get dirt on James Gunn. Yeah. Then I was like, this is dumb. This is a stupid thing that people are blowing out of proportion.
He obviously said some really just ridiculous, idiotic things for, I guess, shock effect. And whatever his motive was. But people
change.
That's my thing. Is this is what these heroes are about. It's about bringing the best out of people.
The Guardians, especially.
And that's the thing. Is they're supposed to inspire us to be better. And for James Gunn, these characters, I believe, him working with these characters have made him a better person.
I think when he was writing Guardians 1, he found a piece of himself in every single one of those characters. Yeah. And that is what makes Guardians so important. Each of these people were bad people.
Yeah, exactly.
They were not good. And James Gunn back then was not good.
If we can root for these characters to come from bad situations or being bad people to being good people, and now we root for them. I think we should we should learn something from that and apply it to our people in our society as well.
I totally agree. It's a deeper issue than it just being a comic book movie. Like it's a lot more about the people who watch it, the kids who watch it. Man, there's so many kids who love Star-Lord and all those characters, And I think like it would show a great example if kids now, they don't care. They don't even know who the name James Gunn is. Exactly. But when they get older and be like, oh man, the guy who directed like my favorite superhero movie or my favorite comic book movie of all time, like they fired him because he did something bad, but like Star-Lord was bad and then he became a good guy, Exactly. And it's just going to give...
You're talking about people who killed people. These characters killed other people, and stuff.
Gamora was a straight-up assassin who worked for freaking Thanos. Exactly. Rocket didn't have any empathy.
And then we're looking at James Gunn stuff, which happened, 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was right before I think it was like a year before they had hired him for Guardians.
That was about the last time you heard from him doing any of that
doing any of those just like terrible tweets. And then after that, like it was like... He definitely changed. So maybe there's a chance he could come back.
I would give it like a 20% chance.
I'll have your back on that.
Because I don't see... They still haven't hired a director.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi actually just spoke.
He said he was not going to do it.
Which was like actually my like fan casting. That's who I wanted to do the film. Just because I feel like his comedy would work well with those characters. But a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people don't want to touch these characters because of how they feel.
I think most people have James Gunn's back.
The people who know him too. Yeah, the people who know him best.
I think that Disney's going to be scrambling around trying to find a director, and then nobody's going to want to because they're like, no, that was James Gunn. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's like he's my friend.
Yeah.
So hopefully the people or hopefully Disney will see that nobody else is going to take it up. So maybe they'll get James back.
Regardless, it's great that they're using the script for his script for the characters. Just
it'd be a total disrespect if they just threw his script.
But it is funny though because he actually didn't write the script for the first movie. A lot of people think that he did. It was actually I can't remember her name. It's gonna kill me now. There was someone else who wrote the script for Guardians 1. He wrote the script for Guardians 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember who wrote it. You can probably...
Yeah, let me look it up real quick. Guardians of the Galaxy, Nicole Perlman?
Yeah, that's it. Nicole Perlman.
It says screenplay by James Gunn and Nicole Perlman. So they co-wrote it.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's his. It's all his. It's his universe. It's
and if he wrote Volume 2, like, I love Volume 2. Like, it really grew on me.
Same.
So
I love that one.
So... Hopefully they'll translate it well and they'll do his script justice if they don't get him back to direct it.
Yeah. The good thing is they have that continuity between the actors, which I think will be great for the third one whenever they decide to make it. It's interesting that they do have a script and they're just like waiting on a director, which gives me a little bit of hope that he's going to be back somehow. But with the whole thing going on with Suicide Squad, I'm not so sure about that and how that's going to work out.
Yeah.
One of those things we'll have to wait and see on. Other than that, we got a new trailer for Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well,
that summarizes my views on it. So if you want to skip over it, we can.
No. We can't. I don't think we can beat a dead horse any further. But I mean, I'm real. My expectations for this movie are pretty low.
I already said it. Like I put out a tweet the other day, and I was like, I'm so worried about this movie.
Yep.
I think that it has the potential to divide the MCU fan base. I think that it's just so weird because have you seen the movie Half Nelson? It's a
I don't think so.
Ryan Gosling movie, but the directors who are working on Captain Marvel worked on that movie. If you haven't seen it, if you're listening to the podcast, go check it out. It's a great film. They're great storytellers and they're great directors. And I don't see any of that in this movie that so far in the trailers. I just don't see it.
I'll say this. I don't even remember what the TV spot was for Super Bowl. That's actually how much, like I'm thinking, like you mentioned it and I remember I watched it and I was like, man, and it's totally forgotten and I I thought about watching it right before the podcast, but I was like, it'll come back to me.
It's the same thing over and over. I think it's a lot of shots of her falling, then getting back up.
They've done that in like 4 trailers, and there's more, like, there's spots coming out. Like, I think a spot is coming out almost every 2 days now. Because there was one that came out today I saw, and I watched it, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Then there's the whole thing with the cat that everybody's obsessed about.
Yeah, I don't get that, I guess. I hate to feel this way about it, because I really want to be excited for this film, and I'm not someone who's typically negative about this thing. Like, I don't consider us negative people. I think we're typically pretty optimistic about these things. And I'm just...
For MCU, at least.
Oh, definitely.
I've never, like, went into an MCU movie thinking, oh, this movie's gonna suck, or I'm not, like, excited about it.
Yeah.
I've never felt that way going into an MCU movie, which is just...
Yeah, I've never been colossally disappointed by a MCU film. I've been, like, slightly underwhelmed. Like, oh, like, that wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be. Like, I'm actually someone who... I've told you before, but for people listening on the podcast, I think Black Panther's slightly overrated. I'm not really sure why it's nominated for Best Picture, but controversial opinion, you can roast me on Twitter or whatever. But that doesn't mean that I don't think it's a good movie. I think it's a great movie. I just don't think it's nearly as good as what people are saying it is.
I'm roasting you on Twitter right now.
That's fine.
No, I love that movie to death. Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies.
It's different for other people, and it's like, I get why it's so important, and the reason I appreciate Black Panther so much is because any kid who's looking up and you know, like, any black kid who looks up and sees T'Challa as a superhero, like, that's the first. Like, it hasn't been done before, especially in the MCU. He's the first black superhero in the film, or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right. The reason it's so big and great is because of its cultural impact. However,
I didn't expect that, like, because growing up, like I've mentioned before, like, half of my family is black. Yeah. On top of that, they're immigrants too. So
yeah. Yeah, it just makes me think of, like, your family and stuff, like the kids that are younger than you, and it's like, if I were in their shoes, like, I'd want a superhero that would look like that, you know, and that's what I love about it.
Me growing up, like, I didn't need to feel representation through skin color. This may just sound awful because I'm just a white kid, you know? But the truth is, like, Black Panther was already one of my favorite characters in the MCU. And growing up, you know, there were black characters that I liked, or women characters that I liked more than, you know, the white guys. It was all about, like, how do they relate to me through, you know, their personality or their morals or something like that.
It really depends on the kid. And see, you were different than me. As a kid, this is going to sound terrible. My philosophy has totally changed now as an adult. Yeah. But as a kid, like, in video games, I didn't want to play as any of the women characters or any of the people, like, anyone who, like, wasn't white. And I know that sounds terrible, but, like, that was just because I wanted to play as someone. Be the character. Yeah, I wanted to look like that person. That's why Peter Parker was such a big influence for me. But then as I got older, I was like, man, I think the turning point for me was the video game Assassin's Creed 3. The main protagonist in that video game, he's half Native American, half English. And that was, like, the first time I was like, whoa. I was like, this character is awesome. Yeah. And, like, he doesn't look like me, whatever. Like, I'm not half Native American. Yeah. But, like, I loved him.
Just an awesome character.
And that was, like, I think I was, like, I may have been 12 when that came out, and that was when everything changed for me. And so now, like, I love, like, in video games and movies and stuff, like, my favorite Star Wars character, for example, or at least tied, is Ahsoka Tano. Sure, she's a female alien. Yeah. I'm not a female alien, but I love her to death. So it really changed, but, like, that's the thing, is it really depends on the kids, and that's why it's so important.
And I didn't get that until I saw the impact of Black Panther. Mm-hmm. That's when I started to realize, I'm like, man, this means something to people, you know? And you should never take that away from them. Whether it's whether it's how you identify with a character or not, you shouldn't take it away from them. Oh, yeah. You shouldn't force it, you know, because for me, like I said, it's never been about what they look like. It's about how can I relate morally and through somebody's personality and stuff. Yeah. But we're all different, like you said. You know,
that's one thing what I love even about Miles Morales Spider-Man is, like, around when he debuted, I believe Miles Morales debuted in 2009. Yeah. So I was only not even 10 years old when that happened. Wow. And yeah, I know. I'm a youngin'.
like
how old were you in 2009?
I think I was 2009. I was probably like 16 or 17.
Jesus, yeah. It may not seem like there's a huge age gap between us, but like when you say that, like it really
it's weird.
Kicks it into gear. Like, oh man. But yeah, no, like Miles Morales, I was like, that's stupid. Like all they did was they just made Peter Parker but made him black. Like that, or like. Well, I didn't say it was stupid. I was just like, I didn't see the point in there being two Spider-Men. But then, like, maybe not even 2 years later, I was like, Miles Morales is, like, not the same as Peter Parker. He's smart, and especially Spider-Verse, like, was really, like, I loved Miles Morales before that, but now I'm like, Miles is...
Oh, he's so cool.
I think it's interesting. I think in terms of personality, I'm probably a little bit more like Miles than I am Peter Parker.
Sure.
But like they have they have heavy similarities.
Yeah.
But like I was not raised by my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
I was raised by both of my parents. So was Miles. Miles is I believe in the comics. His mother passes away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's little things like that. But then at the same time, like, that wasn't what really mattered to me about Peter Parker. Peter Parker was like, he got bullied, he was nerdy, he looked like me, he was a tall, he was like a lanky, skinny kid with glasses, and that checked all the boxes for me. And so I was also like, I'm a pretty smart guy. Like, I made all A's in like middle school and high school and stuff. Gotcha. So that was another
something
thing.
To relate to.
So yeah, but like it really depends on the kid.
It does.
But yeah, that's what I love about Black Panther. I know we totally like just went off the rails right there.
It's cool though.
But yeah, no, it's a cool thing to talk about. I love talking about.
How did we even get to there? What happened?
Were we talking about? I think we were talking about Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, how did we like cross that bridge?
We'll come back to the Captain Marvel thing. That at the very least, even if I don't particularly enjoy Captain Marvel that much, I think I'm going to find it entertaining, but I don't know if I'm going to just love it. I hope that there is a little girl out there who sees Carol Danvers and be like, wow, that's awesome. I know Rey was a big thing for that. Like, when I see little girls dressed up as Rey,
it's so cool.
And they're like, it melts my heart, man. And that's what I hope to see with Captain Marvel. Like, is even if it's not a film that I particularly enjoy, there is a generation and there is a demographic out there that does, and that's what
eventually
what
there's going to be a movie in all of superheroes in DC and Marvel. There's going to be a movie for everybody eventually,
or a character for everybody at the very least. Like, I think especially when X-Men comes out, that's when it's going to be a turning point. You know? Because, I mean...
some of the most diverse characters.
Yeah. I mean, if people don't know, Stan Lee or Marvel created those characters as a commentary on racism in America within the 60s. There was a joke in that in Deadpool 2. He mentions that. And so... But now, like, they made it even a bigger thing. Like, the X-Men is a bunch of outcast kids. Yeah. Some of them are bisexual. Some of them are lesbian. Some of them are gay. And it's just like, and kids, you know, there's a lot of kids who can identify with that. Yeah, exactly. And so,
there's going to be so many characters for them to do so many things with.
My biggest thing is I just don't want them to, I don't like when fictional universes or companies force the diversity, like, to make it unnecessarily so. As long as it is well earned, so that's what I hope with Captain Marvel.
It's about the character.
It's all about the character. It's not about, like, you shouldn't do it.
It isn't
for the
what
sake.
makes the character great.
Yeah,
it's the character's great who also has, you know, whatever preference they have or whatever race they are is the way I see it.
Yeah,
but
that's.
I think for the most part the MCU is going to be okay, just because Kevin Feige I have so much trust in.
Oh no, I mean I think just really what I think is I just think this movie is just poorly marketed.
Yeah, it
and
could be that too.
I think when they may be reserving some things, hopefully when me and you go in, we'll be like, I think right now, since our expectations are pretty low, I think we're going to come out and be like, oh, that actually was way better than I was imagining.
Also, I feel like they haven't shown a ton of stuff off, even though it still bothers me because a little bit that they've shown, it's repetitive stuff, it's repetitive scenes that we're seeing, and then I just haven't liked anything, which bugs me, but the way I see it is like, if that movie isn't that great, there's 20 other movies that we like in the MCU. We're going to be fine, you know? So...
And I think we almost guaranteed know she's going to be in Endgame. And so I feel like even if Captain Marvel isn't particularly great, she's probably going to be amazing in Endgame.
But that's the thing that I am a little bit concerned about. Because I don't want her stealing the spotlight when we have these characters who have been around for 10 plus years. I don't think that she's kind of earned that. Yeah, she hasn't really earned that yet. So if she starts coming through and just takes out Thanos or something like that, that's going to be a little bit weird.
She just flies out of nowhere and just punches him through the chest.
Yeah,
no.
I'd be really bothered by that.
I don't think the Russo Bros would do that, but you bring a great point. I hope they bump into her and she's a part of the team, but not like, all right, stand aside. I could see her
being one of these people that maybe doesn't work well with others. So maybe that's kind of her little arc. She kind of accepts the team and becomes a part of it. Almost
what they did with Gwen in Spider-Verse.
Where
she not that she didn't work well with others, but she didn't want to.
Yeah, and I think there might be something with her character in that terms. But
speaking of which, if they ever do Spider-Gwen in the MCU, I doubt they will because of the Spider-Verse films, but with at least the animated films. But I love Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, Gwen over MJ any day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Yeah? Okay.
Definitely.
I was about to say I'm ready to argue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did Captain Marvel, and we spoke a little bit about X-Men. We're gonna get into that.
Yep.
You found an article that stated that Kevin Feige will indeed be taking over the X-Men, which I think we pretty much all knew. I don't know how they're gonna really integrate these characters or universes.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to explain, especially because, are they just going to say the mutants that have existed this entire time and no one knew?
It's going to be really weird, I think.
Yeah.
I almost wouldn't be surprised if, the X-Men aren't connected to the MCU. Would you be surprised at all?
You mean, they just do, movies about the X-Men?
Yeah.
But, just like Fox is doing, but just do the movies but not put it in the MCU?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
That pissed me off a lot. I don't think they do that.
Somebody brought up this point. I don't remember who it was, but they said it'd be really tough to do because the Avengers are just such a unique group of beings. Mm-hmm. And then once you introduce the mutants, you got thousands of them. There's so many of them out there. So you're changing the whole universe, essentially. There can be some people in Wakanda that are, I don't know, Storm. There's people in Wakanda probably who have been mutants this whole time. It's it's weird how they're going to find a way to do that, in my opinion. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're separate, but then Kevin Feige's well, we need this character and this character for this thing in our MCU. I don't know. I
feel like they're gonna find a way to do it.
They will, because it's Kevin Feige and he's great at everything that he does.
Yeah.
It's even though you're how's this gonna work, and then it just works.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. What I hope they do is, I'm gonna be honest, and maybe people are gonna disagree with me with this.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to start off with Wolverine. I don't want Wolverine for another 5 years or Actually, probably another 7 years for sure. When they start doing X-Men stuff, I want it to be focused on Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, the ones that you got used to in the First Class things.
Yeah.
But I want to see them as kids, and I want them, or do not the New Mutants movie. That's a different thing. But I mean, just do mutants that we haven't seen before. But I love Cyclops as a character.
Yeah.
He's actually one of my favorite parts of Apocalypse. I really enjoy Ty Sheridan. He's a great actor. He was really good in Ready Player One. But I don't know. It's just really weird. Fox has been doing these movies longer than the MCU has existed. They've been doing them since 2000.
Yeah.
And that just makes it so weird because it's just they're not eradicating, but they're just they're moving on to their own thing, and it's just really hard to say what they're going to do with that.
I think it's going to be a while before we even see X-Men. I think Fantastic Four have to be the first thing to come.
That's what I hope. I think Fantastic Four has not properly gotten justice in any of their films, whereas X-Men have.
Not once.
And I think it makes way more sense for them to do Fantastic Four after this phase ends, rather than doing X-Men then Fantastic Four.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can't disagree with that at all.
If they just they could easily explain like they go up into space or whatever, like they're just normal citizens right now.
Yeah.
And people will be like, well, in the comics, Fantastic Four existed before the Avengers and stuff. I'm like, it's a different universe.
I can't stand those people.
I'm like, it's a different universe. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, this is a universe where MJ is she's like, I don't know what is Zendaya half black, or I don't know.
I have no idea.
Exactly. So they've taken so many liberties with Spider-Man and with the Avengers and stuff. I'm like, it's a different universe. It's inspired by the comics, so they can easily do the Fantastic Four after
You don't
Spider-Man.
have to adapt everything just the way the comics are.
Now I do want them to be older than Peter Parker. I want them to be like, Johnny Storm to be like 24, 25, and then like Reed Richards like mid-30s and stuff.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking, I think we've talked about this a little bit, but I mean, we've talked about our castings before for who we would want for the.
We both agreed on John Krasinski.
John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic,
and then
please.
His wife should be
Emily Blunt would be great.
Yeah.
As Sue Storm. And especially, they'd have the best chemistry in the MCU.
You know that John Krasinski tried it out or auditioned for Captain America.
And Emily Blunt did Black Widow.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's why I'm saying.
Holy crap, I forgot about that.
This would be like their redeeming thing. Like,
yeah, they finally find their role.
Yeah, like, they get over to that.
And they already have great chemistry. We've seen.
Yeah. If you see them at any awards show,
they're awesome.
They're so cute together.
Yeah.
Like, I love them. And then Ben Grimm, like, there's a few choices I'd have. I'd love the actor Sam Worthington. He was in Terminator Salvation, but he's a fantastic actor.
I can kind of see that.
I think he'd be good just in terms of the voice. Like, I think he's got
I've never cared for him as an actor, but I can kind of see like him as that character.
Yeah. He hasn't been in anything in a while, but I think he's pretty good. And then if they didn't end up getting my two picks for Human Torch would be
Efron.
Either Zac Efron or Sam Claflin. He was the actor who played Finnick in the Hunger Games movies.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see him
Finnick,
as well.
The blonde kid?
Yeah, he was like the guy who had the trident. Dude, he was like...
Was he in... Oh, okay, never mind.
He was in this movie recently.
He had the old lady that he carried or something like that? Wasn't he like friends with an older woman or something?
I think so. Yeah, there was like
I think of something.
Yeah, no, I think
different.
I don't know. I haven't seen all the Hunger Games movies.
I know there's this one kid that's kind of the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. And he was in his name is Sam Claflin. He's an English actor. He was in Me Before You. Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know.
I'd say he's like, you dye his hair blonde. He's 32, but he could pull off.
Actually,
I think
I really like the Zac Efron one.
Zac Efron would still be great. He'd have like a cocky.
He has that like the right attitude for that.
Yeah, and he fits the bill. So either of those two. But yeah, I'd say Fantastic Four before X-Men. But yeah, we'll see.
Fantastic Four has to get done.
Yep.
ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. Then you can start introducing like Doctor Doom, which is a great character.
Dr.
Galactus
Doom.
one day down the line, and then you got Silver Surfer.
Oh my god.
So much to explore with the Fantastic Four universe.
Fantastic Four is, I don't know, I think me and you both agree that is our like, we like them better than the X-Men, which is unpopular.
I want to get that done before we do anything X-Men, before Wolverine.
I want the Fantastic Four to get their shot because I feel like the X-Men have dominated for the past 15 years.
People are going to fall in love with the Fantastic Four when they're done right.
Oh yeah.
People will fall in love with those characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, other than that, other than Kevin Feige taking over the X-Men, which really isn't a surprise to us at all, we learned that Deadpool will remain rated R with Disney. And they've also discussed other movies being rated R in the future.
Black Widow, correct?
Black Widow is one that's being discussed, and they're trying to look towards finding a way to make other rated R movies, which is pretty cool. I kind of don't like the Black Widow thing.
I don't see the point in making Black Widow rated R.
I think it would be great. I think it would be a better movie rated R, but I feel like there's already been young girls who have fallen in love with this character, probably.
See, when I hear Black Widow rated R, it makes me think of, like, there was a movie that Scarlett Johansson was in, and it was, gosh, she was like an alien,
Yeah,
and she
what
would
was the name of that
she would
movie?
like seduce men and like kill them while having sex with them, and it was
it's my favorite movie. It's like one of my favorite movies, Under the Skin.
Under the Skin.
Yeah, that movie's so creepy.
It makes me think of that because I'm afraid she's gonna be like there's gonna be like hardcore sex scenes and stuff. And
that'd be so dumb to do that. It should be for violence.
If it's
it should be like Atomic Blonde or like John Wick type of like action or something like that.
Is John Wick rated R?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a hard R. Like it's a super violent movie.
Yeah,
it's just because of the directing and the action in it.
Yeah, no. If it was
very bloody.
That's actually a perfect idea. Black Widow meets John Wick, just like
that was like my idea years ago. But now I'm just like so many like girls and like kids like this character. Now they're not going to get to see this movie. She finally gets a solo movie, and now they're not going to get to see it because it's rated R.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like
they should have made a freaking series out of this. It should have been on like the
Disney Plus thing.
Yeah, and just made it rated R.
I think I would have preferred that rather than
movie?
Vision and the Vision and Scarlet Witch series. I know they're doing the Loki series, which seems pretty interesting, although it's about him when he's young, I guess.
I'm fine with anything with Loki.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
But a Black Widow TV series, if it was, had the production budget of something of the caliber of the Netflix shows,
like Daredevil.
like Daredevil specifically, not the...
You make it dark.
Yeah.
Do a series.
I mean, you could
explore
even
her younger days.
You could even make it, before Avengers, like the first Avengers.
I think that's what the movie already is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
It's supposed to be before. It's like a prequel.
Yeah,
I
love it. I love exploring that time period within the MCU where it's like before Iron Man 1, because it makes it feel like there's this whole rich history that we haven't seen. That was what I loved about the first Avenger was like, we get to see 1945 like before.
I love that, yeah.
Same thing with Ant-Man, seeing Hank Pym as Ant-Man in the 80s.
And Peggy.
Yeah. It's I love that stuff. So if they did something like that where it's like Black Widow, but she's like early 2000s. It's
definitely going to be that where she's a lot younger.
I'm down with that.
I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do. I would love, personally, just me being selfish, I would love to see a rated R Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
Make it John Wick style, great action, nothing too shaky or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just weird to think of Disney doing R-rated
anything
stuff.
R-rated? Yeah. Because Deadpool's going to remain R-rated, and I have no idea how they're going to do that at all.
I'm of the impression, and people may disagree with me, we've already gotten 2 Deadpool films that are rated R. I think that's almost like true Deadpool.
Yeah.
But the animated TV show Ultimate Spider-Man, which it was okay. I think people hate on it more than it is. People think it's like a trash animated series.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but one of the best episodes is he teams up with Deadpool.
Yeah. And
Deadpool makes a ton of jokes that they censor him and stuff.
Yeah.
And it still works perfectly. Like, you've been captured Deadpool. Like, one of the best jokes he says is like, Spider-Man is just like, there's some booby traps up ahead, and Deadpool goes, haha, you said traps, or like,
oh yeah.
And so it's like you clearly get it. He's like, he's trying to joke around about boobies and stuff. So it's
I'm assuming you're getting around to we can probably get a PG-13 Deadpool.
Definitely.
See, what did the second Deadpool do, the PG-13
Once
version?
Upon a Deadpool?
Yeah, how did that do?
Apparently it blew up in other countries.
But not because China never got Deadpool, and now they got
that was the main, they said that was actually the main reason. I actually really wanted to go see it, but I didn't either. It's already out on Blu-ray. Oh, is it really?
It's been out for weeks.
I'll have to pick it up then, because apparently it has a lot of cool stuff. I'm also a big sucker with The Princess Bride, and I love that they got Fred Savage from Princess Bride back to do the whole bedtime story.
What if they just continue doing that though? Do you think they can just continue doing one rated R? Because I think one of the things that made Deadpool appealing to a lot of people was that it was gruesome and it was naughty comedy and stuff like that. I think that's what appeals to a lot of people. It's something fresh.
Yeah.
And then maybe they decide to do that second one where it's PG-13 and they can still make money overseas. Like they did with the second one.
I don't know. The whole Fox Marvel situation, I'm excited but it's not as easy as the Spider-Man deal was.
Nope.
Spider-Man was a lot easier because you were just like, all right, new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This is a whole other beast, you know? This is not one character. This is an entire, like, armada of just well-beloved characters within the Marvel Universe.
Not only that, Disney is, like, aside from the MCU, Disney has so many properties now that they own that they have to focus on, which is just, like, this whole deal is going to be something kind of historical down the line. Like, how this deal got done and how Disney is essentially taking over the whole entertainment industry and they're launching their streaming service. It's very strange and hard to predict because, you know, now they own the rights to things such as Aliens and it's Disney, you know.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they own, like, the rights to all of these Fox properties now.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out how they're going to do this and how it's going to, you know, look on them as a brand going forward.
Yeah. They're definitely going to have to do some, like, a new thing. Like, I know Disney is a family company and things, but they might put it under the umbrella of, like, I know there's this, like, thing that they're doing. It's going to be called New Fox or something like that. So they might keep it, like, Fox, but it's Disney earning the money in a way. Yeah. I don't know. It's so interesting to me. Yeah,
I'm excited to see
it
how
perplexes
it plays out.
me. I hope it turns out well. But man, if I was working for them, I would be stressed out of my mind because
apparently a lot of people are getting laid off from Fox. Once this deal goes through, there's like thousands of people who are going to lose their job.
I hope Disney. I hope people get hire them because I mean, I think a lot of the people at Fox are still good. Good producers and writers and all the way down to the bottom of the chain. Exactly. Whatever. Like those people have.
The people at the bottom are probably going to suffer the most. I'm sure they'll get some sort of like severance packages or something like that.
Yeah, I hope so.
But yeah, this whole deal is just so strange to me.
Yeah.
I think lastly for Marvel news was that they're going to be searching for a new Wolverine. Yeah. Which is like probably going to upset some people because they just like people are obsessed with Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine, which is great. He's great. But I'm okay with them doing something fresh and new. Yeah.
I think I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Do not get me wrong, but Logan was his send-off. He's done with Wolverine.
That's the way I see it too.
Yeah.
If they didn't make Logan and there was still that,
if he was still in there,
an ending that hasn't been done already, I'd be like, let's find a way to make this work, you know? Because I think he did want to do that at one point in time. Yeah. Team up
he
with
said
the
he was he said he would come back years ago. He would come back. And
that was before Logan though, right?
It was right when Logan came out or something. So it may have been with the marketing or whatever, but sure. I don't know. I think people need to get over Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Hugh Jackman is like amazing, and I love him so much. And Logan is a phenomenal film. Such a beautiful send off to him playing that character. But there can be other actors who can play Wolverine.
I think so too.
I think my top pick is it's not going to happen because Venom exists. But I would love to see Tom Hardy. I think he is a far better Wolverine. Would have been a far better Wolverine than a Eddie Brock.
That's what we'll do. Have a plan. We just scrap Venom, pretend it didn't exist, and then we'll get Tom Hardy to play.
I could not agree more. Please stop the Venom movie. Please stop the Morbius movie. Please stop Carnage. Please stop Silver and Black.
Oh my God! You just reminded me of that post-credit scene of Carnage.
Carnage.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry I brought it
back.
That
was so bad. That was really bad.
Yeah.
I remember when we went to see that, and this wasn't the only time this happened, but you just audibly just laughed so hard when that line came.
Yeah.
And he turned around with his red curly hair.
Oh,
he's
man.
looking at the camera. That was bad. That was really bad.
Oh, he did that for the paycheck.
Yeah.
He was let me give that.
Dude, the whole third act of that movie, I had no idea what was happening. I just saw a bunch of slime coming together, and
it was so dark.
I have no idea who's winning right now.
Amorphous blobs, just who
I'm just
God knows
holy
what
crap!
doing.
I'm who swallowed who? And I'm trying to figure out who's winning this fight.
I remember when we left that movie. I went in like my group chats and if I was like, please do not go see Venom.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, well now we have to go see it, and I'm like, no, I'm not even kidding. Please do not.
I told all of my friends at work, I was like, do not go see this movie, and they listened to me. Thankfully, I was like, if you want to watch it when it comes out
on like a streaming
Blu-ray.
service or something.
something like that.
Yes.
I was like, but do not waste your time.
And it's made so much
boring.
money, and now they're gonna make sequel. Granted, I hope the sequel is better, but.
I think they're like, man, we made $1 billion doing hardly anything. Like, let's just keep doing this.
Let me see what the production value was on Venom.
How much they...
Venom budget. Not budget. Let's see how much...
I'm going to guess it's about like 150 to 180.
It was $100 million.
Okay.
So
well, that's less than I thought.
How much money has Venom made at the box office? This was back in October 29th. But
that's only like a week or two.
That was like only a week, but
released.
it was like with the current gross of $508 million, they made bank off Venom.
It did cross over $1 billion for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I remember it was by like December, like they were still because it went over to like China and stuff, and it was booming like that movie. And me and you were like constantly just sending each other like updates, and we were like,
how
God why?
Yeah,
like and that's the worst thing about it is they're gonna make more.
I almost feel
films.
like we should just accept it and we should just have fun and go see it every new one that comes out. We'll just laugh. There was
we're gonna have to.
Didn't we go like opening day?
We went the day it came out.
The day it came out, there was hardly anybody in our theater.
There was like
that can remember
5 couples maybe.
That's
like,
it.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
The best part of the film was the Spider-Verse
that was
teaser
awesome.
at the end because I was like, yeah, Spider-Verse, let's go.
Round 2. Let's go watch this again.
Yeah.
Then we talked to that kid afterwards.
Yeah, there was a guy out in the parking lot and we were talking to him and he was like, we were talking about Venom and he was like, he overheard us like just ripping it apart and he was like, it was that bad, huh?
Yeah.
And I was
he was like, oh, really? And we were like, it was awful. And he was like, man, that bums me out because I'm a huge fan of the comics.
Yeah.
And
Venom is like one of my favorite villains of all time. But the reason I love Venom is because of that Spider-Man parallel that's just not there.
Yeah.
Like what he's just like,
thankfully Sony, I don't know who pulled the strings, maybe it was Kevin Feige or somebody at Sony decided not to put in Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the movie.
That would have broke my heart, man. But yeah, if they get it's not gonna happen. But yeah, Tom Hardy would be my ideal Wolverine. But we'll see who they cast. I think there's definitely some room that
I think they're gonna go like early mid 30s for this character.
Yeah, kind of like Batman.
Yeah,
where they go with a more grizzled, or like not grizzled. Sorry, the opposite. They go for a younger kind of someone who can kind of hold on the role. Because I think Hugh Jackman was roughly.
He was fairly young when.
I think he was.
Dude, have you ever went back and watched those early movies? He was like a shrimp.
Oh
he
yeah,
was tiny.
Yeah, he was not like very.
He had like a wife beater on or whatever, and I was like, my God, I'm like that thing looks baggy.
And his haircut was awful. It was so bad.
I was 8 years old when that movie first came out. The first one.
I was 1.
All right, well, I was 8, and I remember seeing it opening night, which was awesome because when I went to see Logan, I was like, holy crap! I was 8 when I first saw this character, and at the time, I think I was 24. When Logan came out.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so strange. I'm like, I grew up with this character for so long.
Oh, that was the biggest thing. I was like, I watched the original X-Men movies when I was like 4 or 5, and I like Hugh Jackman had been playing Wolverine my entire life.
Yeah. You've only known him for that. Yeah. You know.
But see, I'm someone like I'm not like attached to Hugh. Like I'm attached, but I'm like, he's done.
Exactly.
Let it go.
I'm telling you, Logan is what did that for me.
Logan's
because it just ended so perfectly. I was like, we're good.
What a beautiful film.
Awesome.
Logan should have been nominated for Best Picture.
It got nominated for something. What was it? Best Adaptation or something like that? Best
I don't know, actually.
It got nominated for something. It didn't win, but I remember it did get nominated for something. I would actually prefer Logan over Black Panther.
Yes,
as a best.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I think Logan is a better film.
And that's from me saying, like,
you love
Black Panther is my second favorite MCU film and one of my favorite comic book movies.
What is your first?
The Winter Soldier.
Okay. I see. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier is my favorite. Like, I love Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say this, like my biased choice is Homecoming because I've seen that one so many times, but my unbiased choice is Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like, Winter Soldier is God.
It's like a perfect film. I was thinking about this. This is so off topic, but every single character that the Russos have used in a film, they've managed to elevate from whatever other film they're from. I feel like they've made the character better, whatever character it is. Like, I think they made Thor better, even though he was great in Ragnarok. I think they did manage to make him better. I think they've made Iron Man better.
I was about to say, like, Tony, my favorite part, besides Spider-Man, obviously, but my favorite part of Civil War is Tony Stark. I'm Team Tony Stark.
Yeah, when he's like flipping out.
Yeah,
like, you killed my mom.
Yeah, and like that, and especially the beginning when he has that conversation with the woman at the elevator. I'm like, this is why I'm Team Iron Man because like I get Cap's side, and I like. But that was like,
that's what I said. I think they've made Captain America better. I think they made the relationship between him and Bucky better and stronger.
Oh my God. They've made Bucky a huge character.
Exactly.
Now.
Who else have they got to do stuff with?
Well, they started off with Black Panther. They
started off with Black Panther, which some people argue that he was better in that movie than in Black Panther.
I think I'm of that opinion.
So, I mean, like, they have managed to make every character that they've used, I think they've elevated them from whatever they were in before. I'm trying to think of who else.
At least with the main characters, not like the side
Vision and Scarlet Witch, I did not care about in Age of Ultron, but I do like them a little bit more.
Civil War for sure.
Yeah,
they're far better in Civil War than they are in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and they got better. Their relationship got better in Infinity War.
I think Wanda is Vision and Wanda, but mainly Wanda is a fantastic character in Civil War.
The Russos are just awesome.
Yeah.
What they've been able to do is just...
Have they said after Endgame if they're done with the MCU?
I think they said they're done until Marvel lets them do Secret Wars.
I thought they were just joking about that.
They might be. I think they'll always be with Marvel some way, somehow.
If they do Secret Wars, that probably would be like... That would be awesome.
Yeah. That would be years down the line, I think.
Oh, definitely. It'd have to be at least... I was about to say 2020, like that was 20 years away. That's next year.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like 2030
like, holy
or something.
crap, that long? We have to wait that long?
I don't know. Now, I will say this. What I would like to see in the very near future, not Secret Wars, but Brian Michael Bendis' Secret War. That one is cool. Now, they have the rights to do it. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know the plot line behind Secret War? So, I was kind of unfamiliar with it until the Spider-Man PS4 game came out and they had the Secret War suit, and I thought it was a really cool suit. Like it's all black. It's got the blue logo with the red webbing and stuff. But the plot of that is Nick Fury assembles a team of superheroes, like random superheroes. So I believe not random, but he gets Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Quake, Luke Cage, and then himself. I think Maria Hill as well.
Yeah.
And they go and they infiltrate Latveria.
That'd be so
where
cool.
Doctor Doom is like landing and all that stuff. Oh, there's like a new leader who takes over Latveria, if I'm mistaken.
They have to have those characters too.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And I'm like, dude, you have me freaking sold, especially like with Daredevil and I mean, Quake is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm like, they could bring that over, and it's such a cool thing. It's essentially like an espionage, like infiltration, almost kind of heist-esque, but like, I haven't read the full comic, but that's the gist of the comic, and so I'm like, I'd love if Russo brothers did Secret War, please.
Maybe they'll do that years down the line. They have to get Daredevil, though, which they can't use just yet. I think they have to wait, 3 years or something like that?
I'm not sure, but...
2 or 3 years they have to wait.
The Russo bros definitely want to use those characters.
For sure.
Because they said they wanted to put them in Infinity War, but they decided not to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely want Luke Cage and Daredevil. I want all those characters back, but just... I don't need Iron Fist or Jessica Jones TV shows or anything like that. Like, I'm ready for them to start popping up in the movies.
Well, cool. Awesome. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. We had a lot to talk about. We didn't even get to everything that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, there was some... We had a bigger list of things, but there's some stuff that's just not really worth talking about.
Yeah.
This was a very... I mean, this was all Marvel, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you guys are listening on YouTube, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications, please. We will be uploading every Monday, so just look out for that on Mondays. Also, we're still waiting to get the podcast approved on iTunes. It's coming any day. I don't know what's taking so long, but just be patient with us, and we'll get it on iTunes. Once it is on iTunes, if you guys rate and subscribe to the feed, that would be great.
Absolutely.
And then we're also on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at comicblast_. I think is what I have under there.
Yep.
And then in the link or there in the description of wherever you're listening to on the podcast is our links to all of our social media, which you guys should definitely follow us on.
Yeah.
Just to keep up with everything going on in the podcast. Anything else you want to say or add?
No. I'm glad that we're doing. I know this is only the second episode, but I'm glad that we're doing this, and hopefully, there was a lot of Marvel news this week, but hopefully there'll be some even bigger.
We'll be able to diversify once stuff comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. We have a couple of cool things planned for the future, so just keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
And leave us feedback, of course.
Please.
Leave us any criticism if you want, and we'll look to improve
roast
the show.
me about my Black Panther opinion or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to do that as soon as we end. So. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week on the next episode.
All right, see you guys.